All right, guys, we got a good show for you today. We have Layne Hatcher. He is the Arkansas State quarterback. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
So you kind of had a little interesting of a football story. Coming out of high school, you're from Arkansas. Talk about that recruiting process for you and what at the time made you want to go to Alabama.
Yeah, so I was in high school, was playing a lot of sports. I was wrestling, football, baseball. Had opportunities to play in college and all of them. But football is kind of what I like the most. So wanted to do that, and was a little bit smaller guy for the college level. Obviously, just 6 foot guy. So small quarterback, but so there wasn't I wasn't a 5-star that blew up and had 40 offers, but Alabama came to me right at the end and gave me a chance. So loved being there, and was there in 2019 when we lost to Clemson in the national championship, and then had a good time there, but some stuff didn't necessarily go the way that was going to be good for me. So ended up coming back to Arkansas State, where I was kind of committed to out of high school, and came back and I've had a great time here and love playing here and won some games.
Yeah. So you redshirted at Alabama.
Yeah.
Talk about what you learned during your time there. You were, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tua, Mac, and Jalen were they all there? Tua and Mac were there at the time, right?
Tua, Mac, and Jalen were all there. So it was us four in there. So it was great. It was great for me. Just I was really tight with Jalen, and me and Mac were real good buddies. So it was good. Jalen kind of took me under his wing and just taught me some things about how to watch film. And then it was good being around a high level culture like that, where there's a lot of pressure every week, and you see how people handle that stuff. And I was just trying to compete with those guys every day and push myself. And it was a great thing. I loved it.
Yeah. So talk about what do you think was the biggest thing you learned from being with those guys that made you the type of quarterback you are now?
I think I just learned how to prepare and learned how to what the time commitment was being a college quarterback. I think that's a really important thing to understand before you get into this. Is it's a whole different world. Yeah. You're looked at differently than a lot of people, so you got to understand that it's a new role to take on.
Mm-hmm. So when you entered the transfer portal, you chose obviously Arkansas State. What made them the school for you when you entered that?
That's where I was going out of high school, so I just felt like I could trust them and had a good relationship with the coaches. So that was the biggest thing for me, is just somewhere that I knew I could compete pretty much immediately and some people that I trusted.
Yeah. So when you went there, you went 8-5, Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year. What made that transition for you and the team so fluid, I think?
I think it was good for me just because I got to be here all summer and, just tried to push myself as much as I could and try to earn the respect of my teammates by working hard. And then, there were some great guys here, and they took me under their wing, and it was awesome.
Yeah. That season, do you have a favorite moment or a favorite play you think you had?
The first game I started, I threw a 92-yard touchdown, so that was pretty fun. So that was a good first play in college football.
Yeah, that's couldn't ask for a better start.
No.
So this season, talk about that struggles of like not knowing for a little bit if you're going to play and dealing with COVID.
Yeah, I mean it was tough, but it's just another challenge to deal with. I just saw it like I was playing a really good defense. There's a challenge to it, and we got to find a way to win and beat it. So for me, I was just wearing a mask when I watched film now, so there wasn't a whole lot of change. Obviously, getting tested a lot. There are some tough times there, but it is what you make it, and we tried to make the best of it.
Yeah, you guys were fortunate. You got to play a lot of games, a lot more than most teams. You guys went 4-7. You had 3 one-score games that easily could have made your record. 7-4. What do you think you guys need to work on as a team as a whole to be more successful next season?
Yeah, we know we got a whole new coaching staff, so I'm really excited about that. There's a whole new culture and toughness and physicality with this team, that it's going to be a completely different group when we step on the field next year, and I'm really excited about that. There's a confidence and a belief in what we are and what we do, and we're putting the work in, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I have to ask, with the NFL draft like this week, seeing someone you knew, Mac, possibly getting drafted, is it ever like in the back of your mind, hey, I'm working silently to get to the draft eventually for you down the line?
Oh yeah, it's really cool to see. Max a good friend, so it's really awesome for him. Couldn't be happier for somebody who who paid the price and waited their turn, and then
Yeah.
when they got their shot, made the most of it. So really happy for him, and of course, that's what I want to do one day is I want to play in the league. And right now, you got to win games. That's how you get there. So trying to be the best I can be every day and
Yeah.
help Arkansas State as much as possible, and then hopefully get a chance to chase the dream one day.
What are you working on right now to, become that NFL quarterback, like behind the scenes?
I'm just trying to do as much mental work as I can right now, watching as much film as possible of, running back through spring ball every play again, and then getting routes in with our receivers as well as just working on my footwork and timing. So really just trying to be the best I can be mentally and physically.
Yeah. Final two questions. Got to ask. You were four-time state champion wrestling. You're number 5 in the nation for the sport. What do you think like being that good of like a wrestler and different things helped you as the football player you are? And then why didn't you end up doing wrestling?
There's no doubt about it. Wrestling helped me with football. Wrestling is the toughest sport in the world, if you ask me. There's a just the physical demand and just discipline that it takes is something like there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely helped me in football because there's never been a hard football practice compared to a wrestling practice. So you know, I've always felt like I was in really good shape for a football player, and it was always, tough enough. And then I probably, I had a lot of offers for wrestling, and there was a time when I thought about it, but I think I just love football, and that's what I wanted to do. I still love wrestling so much. Still keep up with it like crazy, but football is where my heart is.
Yeah. Final question. It's always probably the hardest one. How do you want people remember you as a person when your football career is over?
I want them just remember me as the hardest worker they ever met.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Layne, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.